voices of the host and the guests you hear do not represent the views of Be Inspired Global, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Soaring like an eagle, nothing is impossible. Don't take impossible, you're brighter than the stars. Brighter than the stars. Don't take impossible, nothing is impossible, you're brighter than the stars. Yeah, yeah. Brighter than the stars. Don't take
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to what you know us as Help Brothers Out. I am Director Ralph Dixon doing it in the 3D way.
And of course, I'm Elwood, Mr. Class Inc.
Where talking always equals healing.
Because we are helping brothers out.
Welcome to another fantastic Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. We're so excited that you're here, that we're here. We're just excited that we're just up and what did he say? What's your favorite saying?
Any day above ground is a good day.
And we all above ground, yeah.
Yeah, we
here. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in and right now to Helping Brothers Out. Do me a big favor right you are just joining us. Click this video, click it, like it, love it, share it, do all those things. Make sure that everybody is joining in on Helping Brothers Out. Right now, we're here every Thursday on Be Inspired Global at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you can join us every Thursday to see what we're doing. Our special guests. It's just always an exciting time. So we appreciate everyone that joins in and watches us, everyone that supports us. We are just excited. Mr. Class, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing, today was a pretty good day. Today was a pretty busy, long day, but it was a good day. Yes.
It was a good day.
How about you? How was your day?
It was good. Same thing. I'm back on my workout grind and been working out. At least I go steady for 3 days out the week. And then I try to throw in another day. If I don't make it another day, then I do something at home. But I am on my workout grind, eating right, drinking all my water and everything. So I'm getting ready. I'm ready. I got
know that's right.
little definitions showing everything. So
Uh-oh. Watch out there now.
yes.
Yeah.
So you just had a premiere.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, Mr. Awesome Amin, and is it Anthony?
Just Tim, Tonio, Tanya. We also got Riley, the comedian. Man, that if y'all missed church, you missed a wonderful, wonderful event. But we just got word that we are bringing it back, and it's going to be in a different capacity. We changing everything up. We about to start filming again, and it's just, man, I definitely just want to give a shout out to Antonio, Just Tim, and Awesome and Riley just for including me on that. And the way they edited, the way that they did things, just made things just made a brother look good. Made a brother look good. So I'm still coming off of that high. It was amazing. It's sort of like Saturday Night Live and Living Color. All of that mixed in together, plus you get a live improv. You had a few different skits that will remind you of some of your favorite TV shows. Man, these guys are creative geniuses. Just genius. Genius.
Well, who was the creative mind behind church? They don't spell it CHURCH.
Yeah.
It's CHERCH.
Yes, yeah.
So what was the meaning behind that, and who was the creative mind behind church?
Well, the creative mind was Antonio Mosby, and how I think him and Just Tim came up with the idea, and their minds are already crazy. So they was already thinking of some things and just reminiscing, just sitting around reminiscing on some of the favorite TV shows that they like, and he like, man, I got stories to tell. Let's do it. And next thing you know, they made it happen. Of course, they sent the shout out to Brother Awesome, and he was just like, I got the studio, and we can do the editing, do everything ourselves, and it just came into hold from there. Then they just said, the thing was pimps and simps, and just like he just said, anybody has these type of outfits, call me, hit my inbox. I seen that.
Right.
I got clothes for days. I said, just tell me what color, and I would be there. He's like, now your part ain't gonna be that big, but I said, brother, I don't care what the part is. I just want to be a part. And that right there, that just goes to show you never know what you're showing up for. Because I showed up just for a background role, just to be looked at and seen a little bit. And then once we started talking and doing everything, then I end up landing a better role in it. So it just all came together, and it's hilarious. Like it's hilarious. It's so hilarious. Like I didn't even, when they was doing the editors and seeing all the clips, I was like, I don't want to look at it. I want to see it raw, just like everybody else. And it was phenomenal. Sold out house. It was phenomenal. It was phenomenal, man.
And it was supposed to be a drive-in type atmosphere at first.
Yeah.
But because of the fact where the rain and everything has been unpredictable here in Baltimore, they, at the last minute, which was very well organized and orchestrated, they moved it inside and had the venue all set up and ready for the inside event. So they moved it inside. So kudos to the whole crew of church. They did an excellent job. It was funny, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. As you do get older though in life and mature in life, time starts to sneak up on you, and you got to get up out of there and go on home. So you got to know your limits, and you got to do what you got to do. And I made it through 95%. I made it through 95%.
You about good 98. You better
okay.
Good 98.
So I hung in there, but you got to know your limits. Don't push yourself.
Right.
You just got to know what you got to do. But it's always good to support our talent right here in the DMV in the Baltimore area, it is so important to support. Another thing I want to talk about, I think it's also so important. A lot of people say, oh no, I got your ticket. I got your ticket. You don't have to worry about a ticket. I'm going to tell you something. I always purchase a ticket. And I think that's important. And everyone should listen to this. It's important because then when you want somebody to support you, and they cannot say, Derek never comes to supports. Derek never does this. He never purchases a ticket. Purchase a ticket and go out and support each other. The arts, things are opening back up. We are excited to get back in the theater. The movie roles are really coming out.
Yeah.
I have been receiving so much movie roles here lately to audition for. So, you know, you have to be supported. Let me tell you, when people see that you support, sometimes you get that little extra when things come out because of the fact that you do support. And so I think that's important to to do that for each other. Just to make sure. So make sure that you do that. Don't always expect a handout. You know, how do we as directors and producers and just entrepreneurs, how do we make it? Because of the fact that everybody wants a handout, or they expect that, oh, well, you know, we friends. We friends. You're supposed to give to. Well, if you was my friend, you will support me.
Exactly. Because if everything is for free, nobody is making any money. And at the end of the day, we still need to make some money. Every little bit helps, because the event is not free. Putting together the whole thing is not free. Getting people to come out is not free. The only thing you have to do to support is just be aware and look out. And even if you know that you can't make an event, you can still support by liking, by sharing it, and just saying, hey, go out, support these brothers. And nobody has to know that you are not able to come. Just like and share it. Just like y'all do with helping brothers out. Like it and share it. That's how we're all going to succeed.
Well, so we got some people tuning in. We want to thank y'all for tuning in. Antonio is tuning in. My brother Howard is doing. My brother Lewis out of Denver, Colorado. My good cousin Mo is cooking us up from a back there. That's my cousin, but that's my heart right there. I always tell him, me and his mother Kelly, we were like this. And that boy right there, he's just my heart. Anything that he does, I always try to support him and be right there for him. So kudos to you guys. Thank you again for you guys for tuning in. Let's talk a little bit about friendships, because a lot of people, I think it's important that we understand what is the making of a true friendship, because so many people take advantage of each other. And then when we don't want to do it, or we pull back, now you mad at me. So I want to hear from you, and then I'm going to give my little tidbit. What is the making of a true friend? What is friendship?
Well, to me, I really don't have many friends. I personally just have a brotherhood. And that really just consists of brother Derek, my brother Van, and my other brother all the way in Atlanta, brother Barrington. And a friendship is like, it's never give or take. It's never, oh, well, he did this for me, let me do this for him. It's, I'm doing this out of the kindness of my heart. I can depend on you, and just depending on somebody is not always have to deal with financially. Never really has to really deal with financially. Somebody you can depend on, you can pour your heart out to, and you can pretty much tell them anything, and they'll give you their honest opinion, and you take their honest opinion, and then you're still good brotherhood at the end of the day. Because they'll tell you when you're right, they'll tell you when you're wrong, and then they'll still say, hey, I love you, but you was wrong. Or you was right. And that's what it takes. And just having somebody back. And to me, definitely, a true friendship is, say for instance, if you're in a room with other people and they don't know, or even if they do know that you have this other friend, and they talking about him, oh yeah, he ain't this and he don't really do that. If you sit there and you tolerate that, without taking up for that person who is your friend, your brotherhood.
Thank you.
If you don't do that, you're no longer a part of the brotherhood.
Right.
You're no longer a part of the friend. You're just a part of the problem. Because
Yes.
if you get back to me, and then it's like, oh, well, what did you say?
Right.
Oh, I ain't
Say
saying
that
nothing. I
again.
just sat
Yes.
there and listened. So you let them talk about me.
Yeah.
And
And
you
that's
ain't
true.
even leave.
That right there, I'm so glad that you even said it and brought it up, because of the fact that there's so many times that people say, well, I was just listening. I wanted to hear what they had to say. But if you didn't stick up for me as you say, your brotherhood, your girlfriend, your, friends and everything, if you don't stick up for me and you don't squash it right there and then, we don't have that type of relationship.
Exactly.
We don't have that friendship, because you are supposed to squash it right there and then. One thing that bothers me is when people, well, what did they say? I don't want to say. But you
Right.
was
listening.
Yes, stand there.
I ain't the one to gossip. I don't want to say nothing.
Right.
Well, you was there.
But you was there. Go ask them. I don't want to get into it. You are into it because
Right.
you are the one that said it. I'm the type of person that, you know what? I'm going to say what I said. Now, if you come and ask me, I'm going to tell you, this is
Yeah.
what I said.
Right.
This is what I said. Now, if I don't get to you first, but
Right.
you come to me and
Exactly.
this is what I said, and I'm
I
going to break it down to you and let you know. No, that's wrong. And if you need to get the other person on the phone so I can
Right.
let them know you misinterpreted what I said.
That part.
Now, I'm never going to gossip about the person, but if you got a question for me, a lot of times I'll be like, well, hey, let's get it straight. Let's talk about it right now. But I don't like, I remember I was working at Southwest Airlines, and this guy just kept talking about me and talking about me and talking about me. Big old, husky guy and everything like that. So I saw him one day. So and the girl said, oh, that's him. I'm like, okay, I'm going up there. No,
Right.
don't do it. Don't do it. But people know me. I'm not one to be fearful. I'm
Right.
going to address the problem.
Mhm.
So I walked straight over to him. I said, hey, I heard that you was inquiring a lot about me, and you really wanted to get to know me. So I wanted to sit down while you was having lunch and introduce myself so you can get to know me, since it was so important that you was asking all these questions.
Right.
After that, let me tell you something. Every day, hey man, what's up? How you doing?
Hey, bro, Dad.
Because of the fact that, I went there honestly to them. I went there not out of fear, nothing like that, but I figured if you are gossiping, if you're talking about me, something like that, I am of that much interest to you, then let's have a conversation. Get to know me.
Yeah.
Get to know me.
Yeah.
And if you choose not to like who I am, cool. At least now you know.
Exactly.
You know?
And it kind of is actually a great subject. Also a perfect prime example of true friendship to me is Felicia Rashad. Felicia Rashad. She said what she said.
Yes.
Put it on Twitter, and she has been standing by Brother Bill.
Yeah.
Since the whole incident. She said what she said. The college people, they didn't like it or whatever, but she said what she said. And
Yeah.
she stands by it, and she's not going to change it. She knows all the stuff that he's going through, whether it's right, whether it's wrong, whether they plead him guilty, whether he did a certain things. That is considered a true friend.
That's right.
Her. So she had his back. And I salute Sister Felicia Rashad for that.
And I think people are entitled.
Yes.
This is another thing that bugs me. People are entitled to how they feel. Ladies and gentlemen, listen. You are entitled. You don't have to feel like everybody else. You don't have to click the like button because Derek or Mr. Class clicked the like button. If you don't like it, keep it scrolling.
Keep it
Keep moving. Don't get involved in it.
Exactly.
That again, it just gets me where you feel like, because somebody had an opinion or someone had a thought, now you got to send hate mail and threaten them because of the fact they had an opinion. Well, guess what? You had an opinion of how she thought, what she thought. You had an opinion of what she said.
Right.
So what makes your opinion better than her opinion?
Exactly.
You know?
That part. That part.
Come on, we on the road today. I know we supposed to have a guest here today. I'm not for sure what happened, but you know what? We are helping brothers.
We keep it rolling.
We keep it moving and keep moving forward, and this is what we do. So even if y'all got some questions for us or anything, put it in the chat. We're going to talk about it today because that's what we do. So
and in all honesty, if somebody, I actually welcome. Some people may consider it negativity, but I actually welcome the non-positive comments because that lets me. Honestly, that helps me be a better person because now I know at least if something is not right, or if I took this picture and I thought it was hot, but then my shoes was untied and I was all wrinkled and I had boogie in my nose, but everybody's saying they love the picture, but this person is pointing out everything. I'm gonna say, oh, thank you. Oh, okay, well, tell me what else. Like I am that one that will welcome you. Now if it gets back around and say, oh, well, this person said, I'm like, Dad, we was just eating dinner. Like, why they couldn't say that right there? Like,
right.
I really don't. I welcome other people because honestly, that's how this world works.
Right.
You have to accept people for who they are and not try to change them because they don't have the same likes and dislikes as you. We can still get along with people. Like I've always said it from day one, dealing with racism. I've watched several videos on Caucasians, on Indians, on the Chinese, on African Americans. And honestly, even though I see a lot of negative, I still see, okay, well, they have a valid point of why they feel a certain type of way. It doesn't mean I must still continue to feel the way that I'm going to feel, but I'm going to listen to you and hear you out because honestly, that's the only way that we're going to get ahead in my book.
And it's true. It's true. You know, you was talking about when people want to comment against things. And again, I'm the type of person, I remember someone made a comment about a picture that you took. I called you. What does that mean? Because that way now I have an understanding. Right. You know? But the fact is that, you know, I could have been like, I don't know, you know, I'm gonna make sure that you don't do. But the fact is you have to be able to address people. Why are we so afraid to have positive conversations? Right. You know, a lot of times it's informational. So if you take your time to go to your brother, go to your sister, and find out, hey, I saw this. I'm just trying to get a better understanding. That's what helps us. And again, you walk away, you still may not agree, but the fact is that now I do have a better understanding of why this person does a certain thing or why they eat a certain way or why they dress a certain way. I get it. I get it. You know, so many people always want to address the fact I have 3 boys. Right. Every single child, every one of my boys have different personalities, have different abilities that I don't discipline them all the same way. Why? Right. Because of the fact of who they are. They have to be disciplined in certain ways. Now, you said, well, you took his thing away, but you didn't take his away. First off,
don't have the same effect.
It doesn't have the same effect. But first off, don't question my parenting.
Right.
Let's do that first. I don't come to your house and question your parenting. My child, and I'm going to say it, and a couple of y'all going to get mad, and if you do, I'm going to say what I got to say. Now, my child is not out on the street selling drugs. My child is not in the jailhouse every week. My child is not running around and 6 different women are calling, that's my daddy's baby. My child's not doing that, even though they are young, but still, the fact is, I know where my children are. I know that I am parenting the best way that I know how. I still have a lot of things to learn, and every day I'm learning something new. Don't question the way that I parent. That right there, when you come into my house and try to tell me how I should parent,
Right.
That's a big no-no right there.
Yeah.
Come on now.
We're gonna hear you. We're gonna hear you out. You done? Okay.
Right.
All right. I heard you. I didn't really receive that, but thanks for the. But no,
Right.
this is my son. This is my daughter. I'm gonna do as I need to.
As I need to. And there's a lot of times I'll call and say, listen, Elwood, such and such is going on. How, this is the way I handle it. How would you have handled it? Now, if I'm calling, asking you and everything, that's a different thing. But when you see me and say, I saw that you were good. Keep looking. Maybe you'll learn something.
Exactly.
Let's stay out of my business. That's what I want you to do.
And then that also just to segue just a little bit, that also leads into the part, everybody sees the guts and the glory, but nobody really understands or knows the other person's story.
You're welcome.
So as people, we have to learn how to it's all about what you say
Mm-hmm.
and how you say it. Because you can say so many things and people can take it left, right, and take it as disrespect. But then you never know what that person is going to.
Right.
Because they may be dressing or not dressing according to standards, looking this way, or their roof may have a hole in it, or they didn't have this type of car and you think that they should have this type of car. You don't know their struggles.
That's right.
But if you sit down and actually have an intelligent, intellectual conversation, I'm telling you, you will learn something so much more. Especially when it comes to us men, just to sit down and actually listen. We'll tell you everything.
Right.
We'll tell you everything. But we don't want to put that all the way out there all the time, because you never know who your true friends are.
That's right.
Because you can't trust everybody. But just try it. Just try having just the intellectual conversation without being judgmental.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I've never in my life been judgmental. I don't know if that was a crazy bone, but I've never been. Now back in the day when we was in school, we may have cracking jokes, because you cracking on me, I'm cracking right back at you. Right. But I ain't never looked down on you because your clothes wasn't on. You had patches over your clothes, because Lord behold, this brother, it took a long time to get to Mr. Class. A long time, but I always on my clothes. Always on and clean the sneakers, but it took a long time. But nobody knew. Nobody would never think that I spent my first birthday in a homeless shelter. Nobody would never knew that my mom raised us and we was living in the high rises. Nobody would never knew that my mom was a janitor downtown, going to work in a business suit just to change her clothes to make an honest living to put food on the table for me and my sister. Everybody sees all of this stuff with he does this. Oh no, you don't understand like how far this brother has come. Like it's real. It's real.
Yeah. And when you're talking about judging someone, the same one, I think that's why you and I are very close and see eye to eye about a lot of things. We grew up differently, but again, we see things the same way. I didn't, I always had what we needed in our house. I think when we moved to Denver, Colorado, we lived in the projects probably, I don't even know, 6 months. I don't even, I know the next thing I knew we was in a house, because my mother thought, I ain't doing this. I ain't raising my and we always lived that lifestyle ever since, so that's all we knew. But I always, growing up, you had your, what we consider the potheads and this over here and this over here and the jocks and everything. I befriended everybody because I wanted to know what everybody's story was.
Right.
Because they said, Derek, don't go over there. Don't talk to them over there. I was over there talking to them. I was right there talking to them, and I didn't smoke or nothing like that. I wanted to know, why are you smoking at 16 and 17? What drove you to that? So all that kind of stuff fascinated me. Mm-hmm. I was friends with everybody. And the good thing about that is that I always had somebody that had my back, regardless of who it was. Oh, You know, the guys that were out there smoking, oh, you don't talk about Derek because I'll blow smoke in your face.
Right. I blow smoke in your face and then something come behind it. Leave that brother alone. He don't bother nobody.
The band kids, I'll blow a trumpet in your ear. You don't talk
Right.
about friends. I was friends with everybody, and not to be popular because I wasn't the popular kid, but I was well known.
Yeah.
As the
Same
fact
here.
that I was me 24/7. And I didn't go over to the smoking section and try to smoke. Nope. I didn't go over to the band and thought, ooh, I'm gonna learn an instrument. I didn't learn nothing.
Right.
I was just fascinated about people and their lives.
Yeah.
It just intrigued me. But we don't take the time to do that now. We see, you know, I saw the man on Northern Parkway, and he sits in the same spot all the time, Northern Parkway and Reisterstown Road. He sits in that same spot. Nobody else comes to that corner or anything. And I just want to one day just pull up and find out his story. Because why are you homeless? Why are you on the corner? Where's your family?
Right.
You know, how did you end up here? It just things like that, it really intrigues me to know why. What happened that you are in this situation and you are here?
Right.
You know,
Right.
people are so afraid to, you know, well, I don't want to involve myself. Well, it's not that I'm trying to involve myself, but I never know how I could bless this person. Because in fact, you know what? He may need some resources that I have.
Right.
So, okay. So we just have to just understand that it's okay. It's okay to not be afraid and learn about someone else's story. It's okay to do that.
Yeah.
So that's just something that I wish that we would learn as people. And that goes with the part where you're saying not being judgmental. Because a lot of times we're so judgmental.
So judgmental. People don't want to say nothing.
We don't want to say nothing. We don't want to take our time to learn somebody. And that's what's sad, is that we don't want to take our time to do that. So
Hey.
We are here, ladies and gentlemen. If y'all are just joining us, you are watching right now, helping brothers out right here on Be Inspired Global. We're now going into the second portion of our show. We have my good friend, Kenneth Jamaal Whittington.
Yes.
He is here, ladies and gentlemen, and I am so excited that he made it. Yes.
Right on.
Thank you for joining, brother. Thank you.
Please do me a big favor. Click this video, click it, like it, love it, share it, do all those things. We're gonna get into the second portion of our show. I had a whole big thing I had lined up to talk about Kenneth and everything, but I'm gonna let him tell a little bit about his story and who he is. So I'm gonna let y'all know, Kenneth. We call him Jamaal.
We call him Jamaal.
A lot of y'all may know him as Kenneth, but when I say Jamaal, you be like, "Well, who is Jamaal?" We all know him as Jamaal.
Actually, to be honest with you, I don't think anybody actually knows me by my first name. So I'll start there. So my actual government name is Kenneth Jamaal Whittington.
Right.
So, however, the funny story is my parents, I hope they're not watching this. They probably won't. My parents couldn't agree on what name to stick with. My father wanted a junior. My mother was on a molecular level opposed to that idea. So my interpretation of the story is, in order for my mother to get her way, she got to name me Jamaal, and so my entire family calls me Jamaal. However, when you enter the school system, you don't get middle name preference. So from pre-K to college, it was Kenneth until social media. And everybody's like, well, who's this Jamaal character associated with your face? And I was like, oh, no, that's me. I was like, are you sure it's not a scam page? I was like, no, that's me. And I went through like a 7-year period where I had to show people my driver's license. Like, no, it's Jamal. They're the same person. So then the next thing was, oh, so it's Jamal your alter ego? Because then everybody knows I sing, and I was like, no, it's a
Right.
long story. Just go with it.
Right. See.
So
Well,
In the long run,
Jamal
Mama
is-
got her way.
Right.
Yeah.
See, Mama got away.
Mama got away.
She got her way.
But listen, if y'all don't know Jamal, and if you don't know Jamal, shame on you, because everybody in the DMV Baltimore area knows Jamal or should know Jamal. I'm going to pump him up. He
Right.
is one of the phenomenal, inspirational singers here in the DMV, and they know him internationally and everything. A wonderful singer. I've got to work with Jamal. He came to our church and taught us vocal lessons and everything. Let me tell y'all something. We needed it at that
I
time.
didn't know that. I didn't even know what I was doing back then. Jesus.
And it's so funny when I first met Jamal and he was there to assist us and everything. Honestly, because I do love to sing. I'm not a sing, I'm not gonna say a singer, but I'm not, I don't sing. I sing. And there's a difference to me, a very big difference. I don't have that powerful voice. I have your little, a tenor, alto voice, and I can, I can keep a note. I can keep my tone in it.
I can hold it. No.
Or I can hold it. But
I'm gonna interrupt you because you said you were getting ready to say soprano. No, you have that soprano voice. That's what you're getting ready to say. Say all of it. Say all of it.
soprano note too.
Yes.
I'm gonna tell
I
you,
remember when
Jamal will pull things out of you. I never sang a lead song until Jamal came, and that was my first time that I actually sang a lead song. And people are like, Derek, I didn't know you sang like that. And I'm like, but when I got with Jamal was like, you gonna sing the song. I was so nervous. I was shaking and everything. And he was directing the choir. He looked like, okay, get ready, because you're up.
You up? You
But I
up?
sang that song. Yeah.
What song was
So
it?
yes.
What
Oh
song
my
was it?
Oh my gosh.
I don't remember.
I can't. Oh my gosh. It'll come to me.
Okay.
But yes,
To be honest with you, whatever
is
it was,
exalted.
whatever
He is
the song
exalted.
it was.
he is exalted.
Oh yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say whatever it was is something that I couldn't accomplish, so that's why I passed it off.
He is exalted. Yeah.
Wow.
So Jamal, tell us, and we are again so excited to have you here. Tell us a little bit about Jamal. Where did singing start for Jamal? Where did the passion come from?
Okay. It's funny you asked me that. So, I disclaimer first. I find it important that our parents, especially in the African American community, that our parents affirm the spaces that we grow in. And just fairly recently, my mother told me the story of when this last week, actually, my mother came to my apartment for some reason, being nosy probably, and and she said, you remember Jamal, you were 3 years old, you were singing the Cadillac commercial songs. And I was like, what are you talking about, lady? And she started singing the song, and then she would go into more songs, gospel songs, of course, that she recalled me singing to her when I was a child. And I was like, it didn't dawn on me until some days later. I was like, oh, I guess I started singing at 3. So I started at 3. Now, that's not dismissing that I come from a very musical family, even though they didn't pursue a career in music. My grandmother is a singer, songwriter, and a organist, classically trained. And she was the MD for my great-grandfather's church in Baltimore, which doesn't exist anymore. My mother sings, both my aunts sing. My youngest aunt was a concert violinist. She went to Peabody for a season in her life, and that was a part of her thing. My father sings, his mother sang, my grandfather on my father's side sang. So I didn't have a choice. I was just the only one out of everybody. I was the only one out of everybody who decided to make a career out of it. And I guess that's a good thing. It comes with its hardships, but I'm glad I get to do what I'm actually created to do. So,
And I'm going to tell you,
and-
you have a passion and love for what you do, and it shows in
Mhm.
when you do perform. You really have a passion for it. I know one thing that you said to me is that you have big anxiety before you sing or perform. And the thing is that
I have
when
anxiety
you-
right now.
when you get up on, because he was like, "Am I gonna have to sing?" You didn't tell me I was gonna have to sing. But when you get up there, I would never know that because you have such this big sound and everything, and your stage presence, and you just know what to say at the right time and everything. So where did that come from? Where, and I think a lot of us as performers, we do get that, but I'm just interested to know where does that come from for you?
So, of course, first giving honor to God, who's the head of my life, past the saints and friends. Of course, all of that kind of comes into play. That's a whole thing. Yes, the anointing definitely makes a difference. God kind of coasts me through a lot of moments. Yes, but the bigger part of it is trial and error, honestly. And with the wave of technology and information the way it is, there's any given moment somebody's doing this. And so I had to make a personal decision not to embarrass myself anymore in public. So no matter how scared I get, no matter how no matter how scared I am, no matter how anxious I am, I say to myself two things that I learned from some friends of mine back at Morgan State University where I studied music. It's not about you. Get over yourself.
Wow.
And if you mess up, fix it along the way. And that is literally fix it on the way. That is it. So, a lot of people think it's this really, of course, practice helps, preparation helps, being knowing what you're going to do, where you're going to move, knowing all the bones of the song, being able to emote appropriately. All of those things come into play. But of course, when you're on stage and the adrenaline is going and your heart is racing and you shaking a little bit, I sweat down my back sometimes. You just, whatever happens, just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Yep.
Wow.
What happens at that time when you forget the words?
I have a run for everything.
That's
I have a run.
Go!
Now I'll say this. I've gotten good with so I'm gonna say this. I've never said this out loud. I actually wanted to be a rapper when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So don't ask me to freestyle. It's not gonna happen.
Because that was my next question.
Right.
See, the Spirit, the Holy Ghost told me. Nope. So I will, if I can make it. It doesn't matter what you say as long as the last words on the phrase rhyme. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
So if I get lost really good, which I've gotten good at it not happening, I've got a little grip on that. He's worthy to be praised. Everyone, all your hands raised. Something until it comes to me, and it'll come to me, and then we just kind of move there. Blah 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 blah. Was I supposed to hear that?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
You said something good, so you got your little sound effects.
Right.
Okay. This is what happens when you stumble into the live and you don't prepare. Yeah, that's me. Sorry.
Oh. So
So
look,
who were
go
some
ahead.
of your inspirational singers like growing up? Any
Honestly, yeah. So again, I have a very musical family. So Anita Baker was a big part of my childhood. And I love that woman. This is how bad I love Anita Baker. If I'm in the mall, the grocery store, wherever the music is playing and Sweet Love comes on, or I'm giving you the best that I got, I stop moving until the song is over.
Oh wow.
I remember I was in the 5th grade when I got the chicken pox. And for those 2 weeks, I had a Sony Tasmanian Devil cassette tape. Now I'm showing my age. And the cassette tape it was Body and Soul. No, Rapture of Love was the name of the album. And I listened to that album while I did my schoolwork for 2 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, as I got older, of course, my palette grew and my appreciation for music grew. So there is, and it's weird because I'm a gospel singer, but the inspiration that I draw weren't from gospel artists. So to Anita Baker, and then on the other side, because I'm low key like I'm a black guy trapped in a white man's understanding. I think I'm not quite clear. So I love John Mayer.
Okay.
And the reason why I love John Mayer, he doesn't run, he doesn't do a whole lot of vocally astounding things. He's a pretty pocketed singer. He's just a typical white guy who sings and plays lead guitar very well. I love his interpretation. I love his lyrics. I love just the whole presentation of it. And it was something about him that drew me. And when I was in high school, that's kind of, especially when I went to my little white boy phase, you can see my hat is still, well, it's not bent all the way, but I've got some duckbill hats in the back. But yeah, John Mayer, Anita Baker, then there's Jasmine Sullivan, Ella Fitzgerald. And then we have Fred Hammond, of course, Kim Burrell, even though, you know, she's a little hit and miss for me right now.
Everybody.
I'll leave that alone.
Right.
But,
that's another show.
Yeah. And then there are a lot of local talents that I grew to listen to and draw from. So you've got Jason Nelson, who I studied for years, and Jonathan Nelson, who I at one point patterned my writing and my vocal production after. There's Garland Collins. You know, I grew up at First Apostolic Church. Shout out to First Apostolic. And it was just a line of amazing vocalists there. And so I didn't have to do a whole lot of pulling from different directions. It was already there in front of me. So all of those people who have graced those podiums, they are a part of the bedrock of who I am.
A little bit about where inspirational music was then and where it's at now, because you know, again, the Fred Hammonds, you know, all of them came out with this sound. Especially when Fred Hammond came out with this sound, it was considered a little controversial what he was singing, because it wasn't your traditional type gospel. And then today you've got Kanye West trying to tap into it now, and you know, so different artists. I think Kirk Franklin threw a curve in it and still is, you know, strong in what he does. So how do you feel that inspirational music has started and where it's going? Is it evolving? What's going on with inspirational music?
Well, I'm gonna touch with the history of music, inspirationally and gospelly, because in the gospel setting. Because if you take it into context, let's go further back from where Kirk Franklin and Fred drew their inspiration from. You had the Winans, and then before you had the Winans, you had the Hawkins. And you know, the Hawkins weren't very widely accepted. Now Hawkins music is almost hymns now, you know, because it's become such the backbone of Black music, Black church music. But then along with the Hawkins, then you have Andre Crouch.
Yes.
You know, who had mass appeal on both ends. You have Aretha Franklin, who was successful in both industries, gospel and secular. You have Mahalia Jackson, who was also very successful as a gospel artist, and she had mainstream appeal. I think inspirationally, as an inspiration to the world, gospel artists, Black artists in particular, have always garnered mass appeal. So what we're hearing now from Kirk Franklin and Jonathan McReynolds and Corinne Hawthorne, I don't want to mess that up.
Yeah.
Yes. Mary, they patterned their sound after the Hawkins and after Andre Crouch. You know, they've done covers of their music that you know, sold millions of units. So we're not looking at anything new. Gospel music, inspirational gospel music, has always been a source of diversity, because there are always so many different interpretations of how God inspires people to inspire people. And what we're seeing now is a reintroduction of that, to me, where people are actually now wanting more than just, Oh God, we thank you for the trees and the breeze. We want more than that. Not because we're tired of it. We want more than that because that is where that's what we as a people, that's what's in our souls. I mean,
Right.
if you take it all the way back to the diaspora, the sound of blues, rhythm and blues and jazz and what they call bebop back then, and then just the traditional church, all of those sounds were merged together because those black people who came here, well, not came, those black people who were forced here had to take what was given to them and make it their own. And I believe that is what makes gospel music and inspirational music so impactful, because black people know how to take what's left, know how to take what's remaining or what's been given, and we make it hot.
Yes.
Black people are the only people in the world who can eat pig intestines and it be good.
It'd
Right.
be good.
Right.
I mean, come on. The jam of Thanksgiving was bing, bing, potatoes, bananas.
Right.
I mean,
Made a whole song out of it.
and it went viral. And
Went
you know,
viral.
and even to pay homage to the Pay sisters, and especially her. Here's the crazy thing: before she passed away, she was at the zenith of her career because of that one video.
Yeah.
But she's probably been doing that for years.
Right.
We
Right.
just got hip to it because of social media. So she ended up on the Steve Harvey show. Oh, no. That's not the Pay sisters. I'm sorry. You said
No.
That's Pastor Shirley Caesar.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even still, Pastor Shirley Caesar, the Caravans, they were a big thing. They've always been huge, but she just had another bump in her career and people being aware of who she is because of something that she's probably been doing for forever.
Right.
Because that's what we do.
Perry put in his movie.
Right. It's what we do. And the thing that makes what we do impactful is not how we do it, but how well it's accepted by all of us and pushed. And the mistake that we make as a people is we close off our understanding to the differences of who we are. And that's what causes the infrastructure to break. That's what causes the division to take place. Because when these young people who are coming up behind me and those who I've watched ahead of me, they're not doing things for the sake of being oppositional. They're being different because that's all we've ever been, was different.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
I
love that, by the way. I love that. Sorry. Yes.
Quick question.
Mhm.
Temptations or the 5 Heartbeats?
I have no context for either, actually. Sorry. I mean, I'll say Temptations because I've covered their music in my career, but I really don't know any of their music well enough. Now, if you'd have said Boyz II Men or Drew Hill,
Oh, okay.
you would have had me going.
You in there? Okay. So you've never seen neither one of the movies?
I mean, I've seen. Oh, you won't get me.
Oh Lord! Oh Lord! Oh Lord! No.
I have seen the Temptations movie. I have seen the 5 Heartbeats movie probably once in my entire life. And they were both when I was a kid. I know it's really bad. I know. Hold on. I'll get my black card out. I know it's okay.
Right.
Yeah, you got to pay your tithes with the black card.
Yeah, I know.
Think about it.
I'm sorry. If it's any consolation, I grew up in the holiness church, in a holiness household. So at one point in my life, none of that was an option. So
Okay.
You
All
got
right.
you got to turn
All right,
on the
you get a
television.
baby pack. You get a baby pack.
yeah, I get that. Yeah. So anything, Candyman and all of those Black Staple movies, the Crooklyn, all that stuff, that was not a part of my childhood. So sorry. It wasn't. I'm telling my mother. I love her dearly. I lived a very sheltered life, though.
Say,
We want to have a movie night. We want to have a movie night.
Listen, it's okay. I purchased the Wiz, and I'm playing catch up now, so it's fine. I realize I need to.
Jamaal, if you tell me I'm gonna come over there, and if you tell me that you have not watched The Wiz yet,
No. I've not only if I watched it, I've been in the Wiz.
okay.
I was the Tin Man in
I was
the
about to
Wiz.
say, I don't know, bro.
No. Now, however, what I will say also is, I remember more of the Wizard of Oz because that was what I watched, and then I
Yeah.
read the book, so that was the whole
Okay.
thing. But
I'll give you that. Because
Now,
I was
we
scared
all,
of the Wiz.
yeah, because I'm saying we all had to watch The Wizard of Oz growing up. We all had to watch
yeah,
The Wizard of Oz. We were so excited. And my first Broadway play was The Wiz with Stephanie Mills.
yes, I don't know that one though.
Yes, that's
Oh,
where
I know.
I fell in love with theater, was seeing
Okay.
Stephanie Mills
Mhm.
in The Wiz. I was sold. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. That's just I was like, oh my gosh, incredible.
Yeah, I was terrified of that. Because we had my godmother, God rest her soul, she had it on VHS. So we played The Wizard of Oz first, and then The Wiz came on. And
Okay.
whenever The Wiz would come on, I said, "Oh, not the black people on there again." So
They are
my
scary.
parents was confused.
Mhm.
Like, what you mean? That's Michael Jackson. No, it's not. The black people turned the Oz back on. I don't want to watch this one.
Right.
So I didn't watch that one until my teenage years because I was
Yeah,
scared.
that's
I
real.
was
That's
scared.
real.
Scared.
That whole subway scene, I really still don't get it, but that whole subway scene just took you out. She like,
That whole
Lord have
movie
mercy, this is
scared
kind
the
of
shit out
dark.
of me.
It was dark. It was, and you know the funny thing, so you said theater. So shout out to Artcentric for taking a chance on somebody who's never
Yes.
done musical theater ever. I was my debut as a theater person. I don't know. I did The Wiz. I was
Yeah.
cast as I was double cast as Tin Man. So talking to Kevin McAllister, who
That's my guy.
directed the show.
Yes.
He sat us down and he really unpacked the history that was injected in those scenes and put in context, not just what that scene represented in the film, but also what it means for us to perform behind the people who fought to even have the Wiz received in a major theater setting. So yeah, I get it. All of that. I get all of that.
Let me ask you this real quick. We got about 5 minutes here, Jamaal.
That was quick. I want to talk some more.
I know. You done got rid of all the anxiety and all that. Now you ready
I
to
know.
talk.
I'm ready to talk
Right.
now.
He got the jitters out now. He ain't nervous
Hey.
no more. His anxiety went
Yeah, I
down.
know.
Right.
No more.
Listen, I remember watching when it was Dietrich Haddon, I believe, and Williams had the Fix My Choir.
Okay.
Yes. So I've always wondered, do you, and I don't want to get you in trouble for asking this or anything, because this is
I
what
appreciate you.
I want to know. But do
Okay.
you, because there's some people that are made to sing, people
Okay.
that can be taught to sing, and people that shouldn't sing.
Okay.
So how do you go in and work with a choir and you like, you know what, this is not going to work for you personally, or maybe y'all as a whole? How do you actually fix that? Is it fixable?
It is.
Okay.
Okay. The issue isn't the fact that people can't sing per se.
Uh-huh.
A lot of it is that people can't hear.
Yes.
So if you can address what people hear, then you probably can adjust how they sing. So if a person I know someone personally who has a voice and can sing, but he always is at least a key and a half above whatever's happening. It's not wrong, but it's not right. It took me having to be like, just listen to this and sing that. And then if you want to harmonize to it, then you work around the melody. I have a bias. I believe all Black people can sing. That's my bias.
Don't make me bust a note. Don't make me bust a note.
Yeah. I'm always for my people. But honestly, I don't also in the choir setting, just make sure you have a lot of people, because there are people who just want to be in community. So you just let people surround that, and eventually it goes back to what people hear. If if the person to the left and to the right of the person who's having a difficult time singing, if they can hear the correct parts, they'll fall right in line, because in their mind they don't want to stand out if this is the dominant sound. The problem is when you have somebody in the front or on a corner somewhere, and they're sticking out, there isn't enough of the vibration registering so they can make the adjustment. Because I mean, if you could teach someone to note match, then they can follow. It's just da 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 da. It's just very simple. You just have to take time, and then the thing that I love about choirs is that's what helps people learn how to note match and follow the scales and follow the right key. Because I mean, if you think about it, and even in Black church, if everybody's singing "We exalt thee, oh Lord," and there are people in the audience who are not taught to sing, but they'll find the note. And then if so, oh, duh, everybody's going to change key because they hear it.
Right.
So it's really not. I learned at Morgan from Professor Audrey McCallum, bless her heart. I don't know if she's still with us or not, but she said you have to hear it here before you hear it here. I know I said that to y'all once before.
Yeah.
You have to hear it here before you hear it here, because if you hear it here, it's too late.
See.
Wow.
Listen, we are out of time, but Jamaal, you promised me you have to come back, because there's so much more for us to talk about and everything.
It's like you need more than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I like to talk.
See, but we don't bring it back, because we definitely have so much more to talk about and everything. And again, this was a good conversation. I want to thank you so much for just taking the time out of your day just to spend with Helping Brothers Out, and just sharing what you know and everything. So again, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, you are here right here on Helping Brothers Out, right here on Be Inspired Global. Thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to have Mr. Jamaal come back, and he's going to do a couple runs and all that stuff for him. I'm going to tell him get a little rap together and all that stuff. Listen, my name is Dr. Ralph Dixon, doing it in the 3D way.
And of course, I'm Elwood, Mr. Class Genius.
We're talking always equals hill.
Because we are helping brothers out. And you heard it here first. Y'all heard it from the professional. Brother Jamaal, he said I can sing. So when y'all see me at the audition, y'all better recognize that you heard it from the professional. He said, all black people sing, and I'm black, so I can sing. Message, you will.
See y'all next week, 6:30 right here. Be Inspired Global, Helping Brothers Out. Peace.